Pointer is the executive director of the Kingdom Care Senior Village, and Katrina Polk, Dr. Katrina Polk, is the executive director of DC Villages Collaborative. We're going to now bring on Kathy Pointer and Dr. Polk. Welcome to Let's Talk. How are
Thank
you?
you.
Smiling, and I think Dr. Polk is being a little shy because I don't see a picture. I see a
You know I
name, but
got lost. Here I am.
I mean, I didn't think she was shy. Kathy, she's not shy, is she, Kathy?
She's not shy by
No,
any
so
means, no.
we cannot have Dr. Polk pretending to be shy coming on here with a camera off. That is just unacceptable.
Hey,
Exactly.
absolutely. I apologize. I apologize. Give me another
No,
chance,
thank you
Stacey. Give
for
me another chance.
joining. Really appreciate it. We'll start with you, Dr. Polk, and we'll see if we can shred you of that shy tag that we now slapped on you. We'll start with you. Can you tell us about the DC Villages Collaborative and the work you do to support seniors in our beloved community?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you again for the invitation. I am like super excited about this opportunity to chat with you all. And I'm in good company with this dynamic woman, visionary, Reverend Pointer. And we're definitely ready to kick off Older Americans Month with the Washington Informer. But to
You
jump
go.
right into your question, as we're celebrating Older Americans Month and the theme of Powered by Connection, Stacy, it's important to understand the work of DC Villages and the 13 villages it represents. These villages play a critical role in fostering connections, independence, and aging of place, while also combating isolation and loneliness among seniors. They provide supportive services and programs that promote a sense of belonging, the development of meaningful relationships, and strong connections, all which contribute to health and well-being. Through this work, unmet service demands for seniors are addressed in their community, allowing them to remain in their neighborhoods as they age independently. So basically, we fill the gaps for the DC Senior Service Network. We have villages established in every ward with the exception of 7. And for those who are wondering what DC Village is, it is a collaboration of the 13 villages in the district. And we collectively deliver community based, and I would say more customized neighborhood services and programs, mostly through volunteerism to assist seniors who wish to age in place. And as for me, I'm gonna knock on wood. I'm blessed to be leading the coordination efforts and shared initiatives between these awesome community focused, service oriented organizations. So,
Yeah.
Reverend Pointer, did I get it all?
I think you got it all.
Okay.
She got it all.
I
But
think she
before we
covered it.
get to Reverend Pointer, let me go back for a second. You said everywhere except Ward 7. Are there any plans for Ward 7?
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna let Kathy. I don't want to spoil her presentation. So
Mhm.
we have an initiative that is touching people now through faith-based institutions, which are like the anchor institution, especially in people of color's in our neighborhoods. But we also are talking to churches, and hopefully we'll get them in the fold, and they will develop into villages. And they are one is east of the river, Ward 7, and one is on the other side. So hopefully they'll come online soon.
Yeah, awesome. And Kathy Pointer, please tell us a little bit about Kingdom Care Senior Village and the services that you guys provide for seniors in Ward 8.
Great. So thank you so much. As Dr. Katz said, we're one of the 13 villages in the district. We are the only one east of the Anacostia River in Ward 8. We are actually, we're just turning 7 years old.
Okay.
So we have been really, really grateful to be a part of this network. As Dr. Katz said too, the purpose of a village is to help seniors age in place. That is to give them the resources that they need to help them to stay in their homes as long as reasonably possible. And we do that through a number of things, certainly through referrals to organizations that can provide more grander services that we're able to, but also through connectivity activities, through just connections, supporting seniors, bringing them together for all types of activities. And I like to look at the village as one of we're a part of the greater network of providers in the city that services seniors, giving seniors an option. Seniors like choices, and the village gives them the choice to connect as they see fit to connect. So a lot of recreational activities, leisure activities, workshops and trainings, and all types of things that just help them get the support that they need to stay in place. Our particular mission is to improve the daily lives of senior adults,
Hmm.
assisting them to age in place through connectivity, companionship, and community. And those three words are so, so important that we want to connect them, give them companionship, and help them again remain in their communities.
So it takes a village, they say, to raise a child, but it also apparently takes a village to take care of our senior population, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. All of us doing that work because it's so important again that we don't uproot them from where they may have been 30, 40 years, but to help them again to stay in their homes, in their communities as long as possible.
Yeah, and I and our previous guest asked about the COVID pandemic. I'm going to throw that question to both of you about the COVID pandemic, how it affected the senior population in the wards and the communities that you serve, and how have you adapted your services to meet their needs? And
Yeah.
Dr. Polk, you can lead that one, and then we'll go to Dr. Pointer.
Well, I could just talk about overall in terms of senior communities and the services that were being provided prior, post COVID. So when COVID came in, we had to pivot. You know, a lot of seniors, there were gaps in terms of technology and a digital divide, and bringing seniors up to speed to make sure that they didn't succumb to social isolation was critical, and making sure that whatever their daily needs were still being met. So I think we learned a lot during that time, Kathy. I think it was just
Absolutely.
a it was a learning curve. But what I can say about our seniors, especially in Ward 8, and I know in other wards as well, resilience. They were just resilient. They learned on the go, and some of them have been actually stellar advocates for being able to promote the social connectivity piece and technology. Um, I just so that's from a higher lens, but definitely, Kathy, please share about
Yes.
how you guys did it at the actual local level.
Yes, thank you. The one of the beauties I think of villages is that because they're not brick and mortar, we're
Hmm.
able to pivot. So we didn't have to shut down as it would be because we didn't have a building to shut down. We were able to continue to connect with services to seniors. One of the things we do is just do that. We make calls to seniors. We check in on seniors. We make sure they have the toiletries they need or the necessities that they need. And we were able to continue to do our work. What we found is that there was more need for personal connections because their needs are different. So we were the ones out there on the ground making sure they got to get vaccines, connecting them to get vaccines, making sure that we went to the libraries and picked up the COVID kits and distributed COVID kits. So because many of them didn't even want to come outside during COVID. So we became that support line for them to make sure, and as Dr. Katz said, when we were able to, we got them iPads and laptops and got them training so that they could get online and could participate in Zoom activities and the things that we still had going on without them being disconnected. So we did learn a lot. I'm grateful for the team that we have that was willing to roll up our sleeves and still provide services even during that time.
I
And I
think one
was
thing
Oh,
I
go
would
ahead.
like, I was going to say one thing I like to add is that, you know, seniors during that particular time learned about their social capital and impact, because you had a lot of seniors volunteering, even though it was through a virtual remote interface. They were volunteering, they were making the wellness calls. The aging population stepped up during the pandemic and still continue to do so.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I was gonna go. Wondering, we're a couple of years removed from the president officially declaring the end to the pandemic. How did the seniors at this point, when you look back and you look at the overall picture, how have they come through this? Or how have they been since? Because as I heard one of you say, nobody wanted to go outside, which was understandable, and some. Some people you run into today, they still have that in them, that they still don't trust going out. They still don't trust a lot of certain things. How have they come through this from a mental health standpoint? How are they today if you had to assess overall?
Well, I would just say, as Dr. Kott said too, that we've learned a lot. They've learned a lot. Again, I think one of the beauties of the village is that you develop community. You
Mhm.
develop a trust with a group of people that you're comfortable with, that you've seen, that you want to be with, want to engage with. So those relationships have just developed and blossomed, and they look forward to getting together. We don't have, can't recall one of our members saying, I don't want to come and get out and be a part of what the village services and what you're providing. But I think they were resilient, willing to learn, willing to continue to connect, providing support to each other, which is so important because in addition to what we do in terms of making those check-in calls, we have kind of groups where they connect with each other, and which is
Mhm.
really great. They develop their own kind of network to keep track of each other. So, but I think that overall they've come through stronger and certainly wiser, as we all learned a lot through COVID.
And that
I
is
guess
awesome to hear.
I guess if I could add one thing to that
Hmm.
piece is that we do have, because I don't want to not talk about the individuals that don't want to engage, because there are a significant amount in other villages that have that particular issue, and we're now, just thinking about how we incentivize. I say, make an offer they can't refuse to be able to reconnect and join. Right. So I learned that today from a woman that runs the Georgetown village. So incentivizing and well, really, that just comes down to motivating, finding out what their needs, and making sure that we may keep that present. And hopefully, they will, if not now, but soon, re-engage with individuals, because we want that sense of belonging.
Well, Dr.
And the,
Polk, it's good to know that you learned that phrase at Georgetown, or someone from Georgetown. I learned it from someone from The Godfather.
So did
Get
I.
you
So did
off
that's,
there.
but I didn't want to use that context because I don't want no trouble.
See, Dr. Pointer, she said she don't want no trouble. Now she's going back to her shyness.
right.
But what are some of the biggest challenges today that you find that face seniors, particularly in Ward 8, and how are you working to address them?
Well, we one of the biggest challenges I think is identifying services and then making sure the seniors are aware of those services, but not stopping there, connecting them to those services. And then we have a lot of fragmented things in the city, really trying to centralize how seniors get access to services. We shouldn't have to have them running around to 4 and 5 different places, and that's one of the things we're trying to focus on. If this place is having food and this place has food, we can get them signed up and then maybe get some kind of service to pull those things together and take them to the seniors, because there's still mobility issues. Even if they were able to get the items, to get home and put them up is another issue. So just trying to look at what the seniors need most. Certainly housing is always the issue. Looking at how we can continue to support seniors in that area. Food insecurity is a major one. Transportation is another major issue for seniors, and making sure they can get where they need to get to the doctor's appointments. And we're grateful for villages as well as DACL, Department of Aging and Community Living, that provides services to our seniors and supporting us that we can support the seniors. So there's certainly some challenges that we're still facing.
And let me ask you this: speaking of challenges, and Dr. Polk, you can jump in on this as well. I know for myself, growing up, one of the things that was a mandatory, you respected seniors. You helped them across the street if necessary. You opened doors. You carried their bags. Is that, are we seeing either an erosion of, or maybe a resurgence of that type of community care from the younger ones? What are we seeing from the younger ones? In other words, are they paying that type of um, homage or tribute to our seniors as much as they could, or I mean, do we see a need for an improvement? I mean, how's that working out?
I guess lead off with a response by saying that just you have to pick a side. I think people choose to look at it from a negative and say that there is like some erosion around youth caring. But if you look at it based on kinship programming, seniors are caring for youth and youth are caring for seniors. So it's a lot of that going on, especially in our communities of color. But
Right.
what I will overall say is that if you look at statistics regarding caregivers, most of the caregivers are now like 40 and under. We still have a steady age group of cohorts, but the caregivers are getting younger. And I think that I did assessment some years ago. When you look at the needs of a senior that's like 60 to 80, and look at youth, especially around technology, and want to have a sense of belonging, they have the same needs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Would you agree, Dr. Pointer?
I would. I would agree. And I would, though, just add to that. I just think as a country, there's some responsibility at other levels to help instill those same values, those same principles, to really honor seniors and support them as they age.
Yeah. And how can community members get involved or support Kingdom Care Senior Villages or DC Village Collaborative? How can people get involved?
Okay. Dr. Cat, you on mute.
Dr. Polk, you went on mute.
It's my swear it wasn't me that time. What, what I could do is say like we need some help raising awareness and visibility of our DC villages, the 13 villages, and the meaningful work that we do. So here's a call to action for young and aging adult listeners today. Go to DC Villages website, which you can see below, and click Find a Village and see what village is in your neighborhood or near to you. Contact that executive director to learn more about our services, but more importantly, become a volunteer and connect your senior family members or community members to that village. And if that doesn't work, you can always call me.
There you go. Dr. Pointer?
Yes, I would ditto that. And specifically for the Kingdom Care Senior Village, you can also go to our website, learn more about who we are, what we do. You can sign up to be a volunteer there. Certainly, donations are always in order to support our seniors. Join as a member, just ask for information, just kind of peruse and see what we do there. We would love to, and I joined up Dr. Cat too in that call to action to connect your senior friends or family members to the village. We would definitely love to have that too.
Well, and Dr. Porter, Vera Abbott is watching. She says, "Welcome, Reverend Porter, Pointer, I should say, on behalf of our Kingdom Care Senior Village."
Yes, Miss
Shout
Abbott
out.
is one of our members. Thank you, Miss Abbott, and a
Big
great
shout out
friend.
there. So, what are your goals, both of you? What are your goals and vision for the future of Kingdom Care Senior Villages and DC Villages Collaborative?
So I guess for DC villages, we want every senior, DC senior, to have connection to services, programs, and people in their neighborhoods, their communities. And we don't want these individuals to age alone, feeling displaced in their neighborhoods. So we're looking to increase that sense of belongingness and focus on, as the theme for this month's Older Americans Month is powered by connection. We want them to continue to grow older and thrive. And that means DC villages and the 13 villages want and will expand services to every neighborhood in this great city called DC. And Reverend Pointer can tell you one of the initiatives that we're doing to try to make that happen.
Yes. Yes, we just, as Dr. Kat said, we just really want to reach out to seniors and let them know that we do care and there's a place that they can come and provide and receive support The initiative she's talking about, we partner with about 8 or 9 churches across the city and other wards, and we're really just trying to push out village-like services to those communities, not full-fledged villages because that takes a lot of time and resources, but we do want to make sure that they know that there are some resources in their areas and hopefully connect them to a village.
So, Dr. Pointer isn't the only one getting fan shout outs. Dr. Polk, Anthony Tillman, our own, the great Anthony Tillman, the award winning Anthony Tillman says, "Hey, Dr. Polk, you rock."
She rocks.
Thank
So
you,
there you have it,
Member Tillman. Great guy, doing a lot of great things over there in District Heights. I had the
isn't
pleasure of
he?
working with him.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's made smart cool again, and he continues to push make smart cool again. Um, and Vera Abbott is asking, do we have handyman services?
Yes, Miss Abbott, she's been asking that, and we do. So I'll connect with you, Miss Abbott.
She will connect with you.
Yes,
So let me
yes.
ask you, but again, how do you think we can better support and celebrate older Americans in our community?
I can start. I think just being there and acknowledging. I tell seniors all the time, where they are and at their age, they deserve it. They've earned the right to services and support. And I think as a city, I think we actually do a great job of providing various services and organizations that can help and connect. And from the village standpoint, is just to be there to support them, whatever those needs are. Find a way to meet those needs. We realize oftentimes we cannot do it ourselves. We're not social workers or doctors, but we can connect to other organizations who can provide the services. And that's what we want to be too, is to be a great resource that seniors can get the support that they need so they can age in place.
And Dr. Polk?
I have no follow up for that. He was very
She said it
focused.
all.
Yes, absolutely.
Glenn Williams says Glenn is on. Okay, so how can we work together to ensure that all seniors have access to the resources and support they need to thrive?
Do you want me to go back through my call to action again?
Call to action. Go ahead. Call to action.
So I will say one more time. Go to DC Village's website and click Find a Village and see what village is in your neighborhood and near you. Contact the executive director, see how you can become more engaged, or refer a senior to that executive director. And if that doesn't work, contact me. But more importantly, I guess I want to leave the message of seniors matter, and we need to really focus on the theme, which is powered by connections. We can't do anything if we don't come together and unify and make these type of connections for seniors. So use us as that resource. So that's all I can say. But
Yeah.
Kathy, I'm quite sure you have something to add.
No, I would just support that we just want to make sure every senior is connected on the level that they want to be and receive the services that they need to age in place.
Yeah, Kelly Topaz says, shout out to our villages.
Thank you.
So, and it's so important that we do shout out to the villages. That we do continue to look after our older population. And before I let you go, what is often what you say is often overlooked when it comes to our great seniors, our older population? What's often overlooked? What would you say?
I,
Wisdom and skills and understanding. I think that was so I've been a gerontologist for over 30 years, but I also was fortunate to have a great grandmother in the home. And I could tell you today, and I shared with this to Kathy earlier, is that my grandmother didn't tell me nothing that was wrong. If I sit back and refer to like certain points of my life and the information that she's given to me. And I think that we have somehow singers have become isolated and they believe that they are devalued in a sense. So we want to bring dignity back to them, right?
Mm.
So I believe that is one of the things that we can do, appreciate them more because they've
yes.
worked long enough and they've seen, my grandma said, there's nothing new under the sun. So they seen it and done it.
Yeah. Once I turned 50, I'm in my mid 50s now. Once I turned 50, the moment I turned 50, I was so proud to get an AARP card. It was like it was like the biggest gift I'd ever gotten. I was so, because you know, and I say that, Dr. Pointer, to say this, that um we younger generations should only be fortunate enough to become amongst the
Yes.
older population, right?
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And oftentimes, I think we don't view it that way. Tracy Michelle says she loves this, but oftentimes we don't see, or when we're younger anyway, we fail to recognize just how um, special it is to join that older population.
You're right.
Absolutely.
You're right. I was like you, Stacy. When I
Yeah.
got my AARP card, I ran out to Denny's and got my free breakfast first.
Right, one
And
hundred percent,
then, and
one
then,
hundred percent. My 25-cent coffee at McDonald's.
no, absolutely. So I'm with you. I'm mid 52, and I feel it's a privilege
It is a privilege. Absolutely.
that I can even wake
Absolutely.
up and still be mobile, and more importantly, give back to this population. So,
Mm.
definitely.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with Sandra Williams Funches. I guess is how you pronounce it. You guys, you do good work. This is good work. And anytime we're talking about our older population, and someone or individuals like you two who are so dedicated to our older population, you deserve all the attention that we can possibly give
Yeah.
you, because we don't want your work to go unnoticed. So that's, I'm sure, why Chevry and Denise made sure to have you on Let's Talk today. We appreciate both of you. And as we close, before we close, I'm going to give each of you a chance to give a closing statement that perhaps we haven't covered that you want folks to understand or know. And we'll start with you, Dr. Pointer.
Just the again, we've kind of talked about it, but seniors bring so much value to our lives, and we want them to know how much we appreciate that, and we can demonstrate that by giving back to seniors, by supporting our seniors. So we're just hopeful that many more will get engaged as a volunteer. Miss Abbott just asked about handyman services. We try to keep a list of all of those types of services so that when a senior needs something, we're able to provide it, to make sure they're comfortable, to make sure they're safe. And all of us together as a community, we can do that. There's no reason as a community we cannot take care of the seniors in our communities. So we just ask those who will to find a way to engage, to help us to help seniors stay in their homes as long as reasonably possible. Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Polk.
I can't top that. I mean,
We didn't ask you to top it, Dr. Polk.
well, what
We
I
just
can
asked you
say
to
is
tell us
that
from your point of view.
no, no. What I'm just going to add, because definitely I don't want to take away from what everything that Reverend Pointer stated. But what I can say in this Older Americans Month, we don't need a formal proclamation to ask the entire nation to pay tribute to older persons in their community. We need to do it every day, twice a day. You know what I mean? I think that especially now that we have more seniors living than children being born today, that tell you how we're moving towards becoming a gerontocracy, meaning governed by older adults. So I think that there's a advantage for us to sit at the feet of some seniors, listen, and help them uh, carry their load as we become more educated and have an understanding of aging. So that's just from my academic standpoint. Uh, I love what we did today, Kathy. This was exciting.
It
Thank
was
you, Stacey.
exciting. Dr. Katrina Polk, and of course, Dr. Pointer, we really, really appreciate you both for joining Win TV's Let's Talk today. Great, great information and lots of fun too. You made it fun, so we thank you. And folks, this is it's so important to have organizations like these two supporting our seniors, and do what you can, reach out to them. They've made themselves available. They're right here on Win TV, but they're also giving you their uh, website address, and locations. You know where to find them. Go help out however you can. And we thank you so much for joining us today. Everyone, Have a fantastic
Thank you.
weekend and pick up the Washington
Yeah,
Informer
thank you.
because there is, listen, there's about 250 Black owned newspapers and media companies in America. But I tell you, there is none better than the one right here in the nation's capital, the Washington Informer. So pick up the Informer and read it online,
Thank you.
www.washingtoninformer.com. And Denise will be back next week, and we will see you along the way. Thanks for watching.
Where do you